Most people think they're investing, but they're just leaking money. Every month, you chase that 8% return, while the banks quietly take 22% from you in interest. You think you're building wealth, but you're just feeding the system. And the craziest part? The rich don't even play this game. They follow a completely different order, a sequence so powerful, it makes your money multiply on autopilot. Money has its own physics. It obeys order, rhythm, and sequence. Get that sequence right, and everything starts compounding smoothly. Get it wrong, and you're constantly rebuilding the same wall you thought was finished. I learned that the hard way. I thought investing was about choosing the best stock or buying property at the right time. But what if it's not about where you invest, but when you invest in each layer of your life? My name is Ryan, and this is the lesson that changed everything for me. I call it the invisible staircase of wealth. Miss one step, and you fall. Take them in order, and you rise, slowly, quietly, but permanently. Most people begin at the top of the staircase. They hear a friend talk about crypto gains, or see someone on YouTube flipping real estate, and they jump straight in. But think about it. Would you build the roof of a house before the foundation? Of course not. Yet that's exactly what most investors do with their money. They start chasing returns before they've built stability, and when life throws a storm, a job loss, an emergency, a recession, their whole structure collapses. So let's rewind and rebuild the way the wealthy actually do it. Imagine you're standing at zero. Before you buy a single share, before you even think about compounding, you create something that almost nobody values: safety. The rich don't see safety as weakness, they see it as fuel. Because when you know you can survive anything, you make better decisions about everything. Think about it. If you lost your job tomorrow, how long could you keep your life stable? Most people panic after one missed paycheck. But millionaires? They could stay calm for months, sometimes years, because they built an invisible cushion under every risk they take. It's not glamorous. It's not the Lamborghini dream. But it's the reason they sleep better while others lose their minds when markets crash. When I first learned that, it hit me hard. I realized I wasn't investing. I was gambling with hope. I had money in the market, but no backup if something went wrong. And then I asked myself the question that started my journey. How can you multiply money if you can't even protect it? Once you've got that stability, the calm under chaos, you move to control. See, earning money is easy compared to managing it. Cash flow is the heartbeat of wealth, but most people never listen to it. They let money come and go like waves instead of directing it like a current. The wealthy treat every dollar like a soldier with a mission. Everyone knows exactly where it's marching. Some protect, some grow, some build freedom. I remember when I first automated my finances. I set rules. Every time I got paid, a fixed percent went to growth, another to savings, another to long-term freedom. At first, it felt robotic. But a few months later, something changed. I realized I no longer had to think about discipline. My system was working even when I wasn't. That's when it hit me. Real wealth isn't built by effort. It's built by structure. Now, before you think about multiplying money, you have to remove the leaks that drain it. And nothing drains faster than debt. Most people don't realize debt is compound interest working against you. Imagine you're paying 20% interest on a balance. Paying that off is like earning a guaranteed 20% return, without risk, without charts, without luck. You won't see flashy TikToks about it, but it's one of the smartest investments you can ever make. When I cleared my first major debt, it felt like I'd just given myself a raise. Suddenly, my future returns belonged to me, not to a bank. And that's when I learned one of wealth's simplest rules. You can't run forward while dragging chains. Once those chains are gone, your momentum becomes unstoppable. Then, and only then, comes growth. This is where everyone else begins. The markets, the ETFs, the compounding. The rich get here later because they know the earlier steps protect this stage from fear. Most people invest emotionally. They buy high when the news is good and sell low when fear sets in. The wealthy automate and forget. They understand that the market rewards patience, not panic. If you look at the S&P 500's history, it's averaged roughly 10% a year for decades. That means someone investing $500 a month starting at 25 ends up near $1 million by 60, without ever timing a single trade. Let that sink in. Ordinary discipline beats extraordinary intelligence every single time. But here's the crazy part. The earlier you start, the cheaper wealth becomes. Time is the one currency that compounds faster than money ever will. Lose it, and you'll never buy it back. So even if you can only invest $50, start. Because the amount doesn't matter nearly as much as the habit. Every month you wait is a month your future self quietly loses. And once the snowball starts rolling, it doesn't stop. It grows on autopilot while you focus on living. But growth alone isn't enough. The next layer is tangibility, owning things that exist beyond a graph on your phone. Real assets, businesses, skills that print money. The kind of investments that can't vanish overnight because they're tied to value in the real world. The average millionaire holds at least 3 streams of income. That's not luck, it's risk management. If one stream dries up, 2 others keep the flow alive. I used to think diversification was for the cautious. Then 2020 happened. Markets crashed, businesses froze, panic everywhere. But the ones who had multiple pillars didn't just survive, they quietly expanded. Because when everyone else sold fear, they bought opportunity. That's the real power of diversification. It's not spreading thin, it's building resilience. And somewhere between those investments and those assets, something magical happens. Your money begins to work harder than you do. That's when you shift from earning income to owning income. From working for time to owning time itself. And when that happens, you realize the game was never about getting rich. It was about getting free. Freedom changes how you think. Suddenly the goal isn't another zero in the account. It's purpose. How do I keep this wealth growing? How do I protect it? How do I use it to build something bigger than myself? That's when you enter the legacy phase, the part the internet rarely talks about because it's not click-worthy. But it's where real power hides. The wealthy understand leverage, not the reckless kind, but intelligent leverage. Using equity, partnerships, and reinvested profits to multiply outcomes without draining the core. They borrow strategically, invest cyclically, and donate intentionally. They don't let money sit idle. They let it circulate through opportunity and impact. And here's something most people never grasp. Legacy isn't just inheritance, it's influence. It's the system you leave behind that keeps creating value even when you're gone. Maybe that's a business, a foundation, a mindset you pass to your kids. Whatever it is, it's proof that you mastered the sequence instead of letting the sequence master you. Now, if you're listening to this thinking, Ryan, I'm late. I've already made mistakes. Take a breath. You're not late. The moment you decide to follow order, you reset the game. The beauty of compounding is that it doesn't care when you start. It only cares that you stay consistent. Even a short runway, used correctly, can outpace decades of random hustle. I've seen people in their 50s turn their finances around because they finally understood structure. They stopped chasing shortcuts and started stacking steps properly. Within years, they weren't just comfortable, they were free. So don't waste energy regretting the past. Use that energy to organize the future. Because at the end of the day, wealth isn't magic, it's motion. Money moves to the disciplined. It grows for the patient. And it obeys the ones who respect sequence. Ignore order, and your finances will always feel like sand slipping through your hands. Follow it, and the same dollars everyone else wastes will start building your empire quietly behind the scenes. So the next time someone tells you to just invest, smile and nod. But remember what they don't know. It's not about starting. It's about starting right. Because order isn't just structure, it's strategy. It's the invisible script the wealthy live by while the rest of the world chases noise. And once you understand that, everything changes. Money stops being a source of anxiety and becomes a source of power. You stop asking, how do I get rich? And start asking, how can I stay free? That's the real destination. So build your foundation, design your system, eliminate your leaks, automate your growth, diversify your base, and use your freedom to create meaning. That's the correct order. That's the quiet code behind every fortune you've ever admired. Because when you master the order, you master the outcome. And when you master the outcome, money finally stops controlling you. You control it. This is Ryan, reminding you that getting wealthy isn't about speed. It's about sequence. Follow it, and you'll never chase money again, because it'll already be chasing you.